Hello? Hello?
Hello, Miss Amani.
Hello, Mr. Sayed. Most welcome.
You are welcome too. How is everything?
Everything is okay. So you can share your screen right now?
Okay, I will. Okay, does that make sense? Is it okay now, Miss Amani?
Yes, it's okay, Mr. Sayed. Wait just a minute till everybody comes
Okay.
here.
Okay. And how to speak with power inside the class. How to stop repeating yourself. This is the topic of today, inshallah. As you may see here, sure, this is pleasure. I appreciate being a teacher amongst you, nothing else. Just for knowledge, I am holding a master degree from Finland Helsinki University that's entitled Educational Leadership. But today, I love it being a teacher amongst you. In addition, being a Real Mentor 2020, as you may know. Here is my email, guys. If you feel free to contact me at any time, you will find a good support, inshallah. What is it all about, guys? This is the big title I have chosen for my book. And at the end of the session, inshallah, this is my gift for Azhar platform. I'm gonna to grant you this book to be published in the nearest time, inshallah, and I'm gonna to give you a hand inside. It's all about helping teachers grow. And sure, this session is one topic from inside this book. Here is it, classroom management. What do you think of these guys? We do not see things as they are. We see them as we are. Agree or disagree? Let me see that in chat box, if you please. We do not see things as they are. We see them as we are. Do you think this is good expression? Do you have any reservation? Do you have any comments? Sure. In life, guys, everything sees the side of life up to his eyes. Sure, I agree. Miss Asma Abdul Wahab, perfect. And also Miss Venus Gonemi, perfect. That's good, sure. Imagine the guys here. Each one of them sees the part in front of his eyes up to his mind, up to his eyes too. For example, the part on the right, number 3, he sees the parts in front of his eyes as 3. Logic enough. And the other guy, imagining they are 4. You can check that. What I mean here, guys, is that in the class, since we are teachers, you are the king and you are the queen too. You can guide the whole process according to your own point of view as you see it right. As long as it goes along with the educational regulations, but the application itself, it differs. I can do that, others can do that. Finally, we can reach to the final point, but it's totally different. It's up to you inside the class. Let's agree about that from the very beginning. Okay. Classroom management. How to stop repeating yourself and start speaking with power. Good title, I think. What do you see? What do you see of that, guys? How many of us do that day and night? If you check here, we have a teacher that says, the kids do not listen. So I have to repeat myself. Have to. Have you noticed that? I have to. I'm always repeating myself. You know, always saying the same thing more than once. I say it once, and then they make me say it again. All of us do that, by the way. What is the problem, guys? And what is the problem of repeating ourselves inside the classes? Some guys may say that, sure, we have to do that, since our students do not understand so easily. So we have to repeat and repeat over and over again. On the other hand, some guys may say, no, by doing so, just we are burning ourselves out. We have to stop. Okay. Sure. Ms. Nagwa Mustafa double teaching. Okay, very nice. Sure, Ms. Shayma. We have to. We have to. Day and night, we have to. Perfect. The problem is that, guys, most of us, in most cases, do not believe ourselves that we are repeating ourselves. Each of us, imagine that we are hitting the rock. We are the best ever. By repeating, sure. Not yet, guys. We all have certain subjects that we just love talking about. Whether it is a TV show, book series, favorite hobby, or topic of interest. Almost everyone has something they could go on and on about. This is the nature of people, by the way. If you are mastering something, you will love to repeat it again and over again. The problem with going on and on is that you can make a conversation feel repetitive and maybe boring. And what's happening? This is what's happening. It felt boring. When you are too rigid about the topic you wanted to discuss, and all your conversations seem to link back to it, others may lose interest in talking to you, even your students. For that reason, breaking free of repetition can be essential in order for you to make and keep your students, if you want, sure. If you notice that your conversations tend to go in circles, it might be time to break the habit. You have to break the habit, by the way. First of all, you have to confess that you are repeating yourself. I myself did that, by the way. But the time had come to stop and tell myself, stop, please, Mr. Sayed. You are repeating yourself. I did that myself. And I'm sure you can do that yourselves. When can you notice that you are repeating yourself? Once you admitted the problem. For that reason, guys, breaking free of repetition can be essential, as I said before. But the question is, how do you know that you are repeating yourself? As a human being, by the way, as you may know, we cannot or we may not believe but our eyes and just our ears. We cannot accept the criticisms of others. Just we are seeing or watching or believing what we believe in. You have to admit that. But how? This is the question. Here are some tips on how to do that. How to confess that you are repeating yourself. Number one, recognize when, take care of that, my guys, please. When you are repeating yourself. The first step to break this habit, I mean repeating yourself, is to recognize that you have this habit. Once you admitted that, make sure you are on the right path. Do your students often say things like, you said that already, teacher? Or you already told us about that, sir? If that happened, this is the surest evidence that you are repeating yourself. So this is the time. Number 2, recognizing why you are repeating yourself. What's the reason behind? You can ask yourself this question right now, my guys. And let me see your answers in the chat box. Honestly, if you please. Let us see. Why should you repeat yourselves inside the classes? What are the reasons behind? Frankly speaking, if you please. And I'm sure you are going to do that. Okay. So, Ms. Nagwa Mustafa, this can make students lose self-confidence and feel that I repeat because they cannot understand. Sure, that's perfect, Ms. Nagwa. Okay. So, are you doing it for emphasis? To remind someone of something? I mean your students? Or are you simply doing it because you are not sure what else to say? Which one of these? Is it a kind of emphasis? Or just reminding some guys, I mean students here, of something? Or just because you are not sure what else to say? Which one of these? For emphasis, Ms. Rania, perfect. Thank you. Ms. Nagwa, to make sure that learners get the point. Okay. So this is a clear evidence that here that you are repeating yourself. Okay, but this is the reason, sure. Okay, very nice, interesting. If you find the repetition is your go-to space filler, guys, sure you know what I mean by the word space filler here. So now you are repeating yourself. This is the second hint that you are repeating yourself. Sure, we will know. How can I get rid of that? Listen closely. This is number 3 mark, or the third mark, to make sure that you are repeating yourself. Try to stay engaged in the conversation. As it is happening, then ask questions, okay? Add comments and make eye contact. Let the conversation lead you to unexpected places. Go forward. Go over and over in the conversation until you reach unexpected limit. And remember, there is no need to keep returning to the topics you have already covered. If you did that, now make sure that you are repeating yourself. The fourth and final point or mark. When in doubt, if you are in case of doubt, you are unable to identify whether you are repeating yourself or not, ask. Ask whom? It never hurts to ask, guys, by the way. It happened to me personally. Let me tell you about that. While I were an academic director for Bright Life International School in Riyadh, KSA. A student verbally uttered this word to me. And he pointed to me by his finger saying that, teacher, you are repeating yourself over and over again. But I didn't realize that. Then I launched them with a rocket of questions like that. It never hurts to ask, guys, at all. Simply say in a good tone, have I told you about that time I blah, blah, blah? Or I cannot remember, my guys or my students. If I already mentioned that, you may find that students are open to hearing more. But if they are not, what's happening? It's best to let the subject drop because you are repeating yourself. Okay, these are the 4 marks. Okay, so what is happening next? What do you think of this question, guys? Do you repeat yourself when giving directions? Are you repeating yourself as inside your classes when giving your students some directions or regulations? It's clear, obviously. Most teachers do. Imagine the guy, what is he doing? He got bored. Okay, beside repeating, guys, what's happening if I am repeating myself inside the class? You are wasting your time, simply. You are wasting your time. At the time you have allocated time plan and you have a dedicated lesson plan, you have to finish. You are wasting your time and energy too. By doing that, I mean repeating yourself, you are weakening the power of your words. Sure, it happens. It makes your students to tune you out. Now they are gonna to accustom to you or getting bored of you. Your students become conditioned to you repeating yourself. They are expecting even what you are gonna to say even before you said it or you utter it. I'm not exaggerating if I said they are expecting what you are alluding to or imagining even, because you are repeating yourself over and over again. See the guy here, how to speak with power. Now inside the class, I'm the king. I have decided to stop repeating myself and burning myself out. What should I do, sir? There are a lot of things you can do, by the way. Repeating yourself is a habit. Let's agree about that, guys. It's a habit. It looks like, smoking, if so to speak, a kind of habit. Once it is a habit, it should be stopped. We can go in a worry if it was a kind of addiction. But since it is a habit, it's simply to change. Repeating yourself is a habit you must break if you want your words to have impact. If you want to be a creative teacher, if you want not to be just a cassette tape or a CD, you have to change. You have to break. The good news is that it's not difficult to do. How can I do that? Let's go. See that, guys. 8 steps you can go through regularly and gradually. If you follow these steps on a short run, by the way, not a long run, you can break your habit. Number 1, as you may see here, stop moving. What I mean by the word stop moving, guys, stop moving inside the class. A lot of movements inside the class may distract students, as you may know. In addition to, it underwakens your personality in the class. Why? Students, the students will go by their eyes, sure, to your figure, to your character, or to your physical body. A time after a time, they are gonna to make sure that you are nothing. What I mean by the word nothing here, it's not just you are nothing as a person, no. It means you are not controlling the class because you passed beside them and didn't say anything. It underwakens the character. Ms. Shaima, sometimes the students learn by repeating. Sure, we said that. Okay, I agree with that. I didn't ignore repeating at all, Ms. Shaima, but in specific cases, you can do that. Not burning yourself out. That's what I mean. So step number 1, stop moving in the class. Step 2, ask for attention. Step 3, say it once. 4, pause. Have you noticed that? That's pause, not stop. Just pause. Ask a negative. Your go signal, the magic word, the word go. Do not help. Do not repeat. Let's go in detail, guys. Stop moving. Before addressing your class, before speaking to them, stop moving and stand in one place. Does that make sense? Sure, it makes. This helps students focus on you and your message. It also acts as a modeling device. Now you are making a model. You are inculcating an idea in the minds of your students by doing so. That's what I mean by the word modeling device. They will mimic. They will try to act like you or pay you their attention. They will mimic what they see from you. Sure, that happens. But please do that. Number 2, guys. Ask for attention. Ms. Nagwa says, how can I monitor? You can do that, Ms. Nagwa, but in its allocated time and place. I'm talking about from the very beginning of the class, especially from the very beginning day of the school. You can draw or plan your picture in the minds of your students. Once they learned that, once the message sent into their minds, inculcated in the minds of these vessels or innocent vessels, they are going to go through. They will apply for. They will judge you well. They are going to judge you in a good way. They are going to go through your ways too. And sure, they will help you getting the message. But sure, you can monitor. Okay, now ask for students' attention using a normally speaking voice. I don't ask you to shout at all, like most guys do. No, never to do that. Just in a gentle way. I recommend something simple like, okay, you can do that. Can I have your attention, please, guys? Then wait until every student is quiet. Never to go in a hurry. Once you said, can I have your attention, please? Then blah, blah, blah. No, not yet. I appreciate waiting a little bit until you gain the minds in your hand. Can I have your attention, please, guys? Okay, like that. Then wait until every student is quiet and looking at you before opening your mouth for the second word. Now you are putting them in the right track. Even the guy here, oh, you didn't pay any attention in class and failed? So please tell us how it's all the teacher's fault. Do you think it is the student's fault or the teacher's fault, guys? If you lost your students, if they didn't pay you their attention, is it your fault or your students? What do you think of that? Okay. So once you lost your students' attention, a great amount of blame should be upon your burden as a teacher, because you are the leader. You are the king, as we agreed before, and you are the queen inside the class. And now the steering wheel in your hands inside the classes. Once you lost the steering wheels, then never to ask about losing the attention of your students. So be careful when dealing with that point. Number 3, say it once. What is it to say it once? Never to repeat your instruction, guys. Give your instructions once using a clear, direct language and do not over-explain. Do not explain what has been already explained. Giving too much information is a common mistake. Research has shown that, by the way. If you are supporting your students with a lot of details about the topic or the basic topic, now you are wasting your time because you are explaining something that has already been explained. Keep it simple. Tell your students only what you want them to do. In short, without repeating yourself, without getting nervous, even without socializing. Because I had noticed that before in my classes, my colleague kept socializing the students, imagining that he is gonna to control their behaviors. Socializing here, it means to continue, and you can say entertaining by logging into funny things or funny words. That's what I mean by socializing. Neither that nor that. Tell your students only what you want them to do. In short, like the guy here, this is tip number 4. Just I want you to figure out his facial expressions. What do you think of him? Strict, serious, right? But at the same time, he's observing the time schedule or the plan or the allocated time. He wants to be on the track, not behind the curtain. That's why he is standing like that. I don't want to ask you to show your students that you are a kind of dictators. Not yet. A longer than normal pose. It's a hidden message, guys. Once you found your students kept speaking, kept chatting, or socializing together, try to pause. This will keep your students focused on you. Some guys are making something like that by keeping the light went off, by clapping, or by saying some words or funny words like classic, then you are gonna say yes, yes, or something like that. But I appreciate this tactic because it is strict enough in dealing with that case. If you speak again right away without a generous pause, you will lose them. Then you will find that you did nothing. And again and over again, you burned yourself out. Step number 5. Ask a negative. Oh, what is that attractive headline or title that called Ask a Negative? Let's go together and see what is behind. Ask your students if any of them does not know what to do. Like that. Okay, Jack, do you have any problem? Do you need any help? In a funny way, but never to help. Just make it like that. Ask your students if any of them doesn't know what to do. Jack, do you know what to do? Do you know how to solve that? Do you know how to answer the question? In a negative case, why do you think this is important? Using a negative case instead of affirmative ones, because it sends a message to the student's mind that now this is his or her role to do the task. And now the ball in his or her field. It's a kind of throwing responsibility. This is an effective questioning technique that helps shift the responsibility for learning from the teacher side to the student side. I'm sure you agree about that. Okay, so ask negative. Now, here we go with number 6. See the faces, guys, of the students. What is there? Oh, they seem gloomy. And what about the teacher? Oh, different case, totally different. Why is that? Why do you think this is happening in our classes? Give your go signal. What is go? As we agreed at the beginning, yes, somebody wanted to say something? Yes, I'm explaining using Zoom video. Okay, guys, give your go signal. Go here is the magic word. You can use this word and put it from the very beginning in your pockets, in your bags, and even in your minds. Go is a power word that initiates action. It's not my words, by the way. These are the evidences of the theorists speaking about the psychological cases of students inside the classes, who when speaking about or giving orders or instructions, they prove that the word go has the effect of magic. This word by name gives the students hint that they have to do it. They have no other alternative but to do it. So go is a power word that initiates action, that accelerates action. Action from the side of the students, sure. It gives them a kind of enthusiasm, you can say. As soon as you say it, once you say the word go, your students will get busy doing something like that. Ahmed, go answering the question. Jack, go cleaning the board, for example. Smith, go sharing the point with the one next to you. Use the word go as much as you can. Magic word. If you follow the guidelines given here, however, they will do what you ask them to do. Sure, once you did that. Okay, and I think this is a valid way, guys, to make your students inside the classes fully engaged. Just tell them to do. Go, go, go. Don't stop. Don't help. Most of you will find that exaggerating enough. But again and over again, research has shown that if you used to help your students inside your classes, make sure that students will see it as a kind of, you can say, as a right, you can say, or as something that is granted to them, not something that you can grant them or volunteer doing that with them. Just they are gonna, as you know, they are thinking in an abstract way. Once you are helping, over the course of time, they will imagine that this is their original or recess right for the teacher to help them. Sure, it's not. You have done your part. Now it's their turn. Now the ball in their fields. The responsibility now is taken to them to carry out your instructions lies with them, not you. You can tell me, guys, to what extent are you waiting to help, just to help, and students do nothing? All the time you are totally positive. In the same case, they are totally negative. That's what we call student-centered learning. Try to keep it student-centered learning, not teachers-centered learning. If you notice a student lost or unsure of what to do, resist jumping into help. Be sure of that. Resist jumping into help, because most of us taking that in, you know, in a sympathy or a kind of help or a kind of lullaby, you can say, not yet. Helping students all the time, haphazardly, and you can use this word between brackets, haphazardly, you are burning yourselves out and wasting your time and your efforts too. Do not repeat. If you please, do not repeat. This is the core point of the session. Do not repeat. If a student asks you what they are supposed to do, okay, I think one of our guys here asked something like that by saying repeating is very important. Sure, I didn't deny that at all. But in specific cases and through specific tracks, in the way you see it is right, not through the way the student sees it is right.
Mr. Sayed,
Yes, Miss Amani?
okay, if you please, we are about to leave right now and come back using the same link in the chat.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.